Self-mastery is not a destination, it is a journey. It is a process of taking control of one's mind, emotions, and actions to achieve personal growth, purpose, and peace. We are all born with a unique set of talents and abilities, but it is through discipline, self-awareness, and continuous learning that we can truly unlock our potential. The path to self-mastery is not easy. It requires dedication, resilience, and an unwavering belief in one's capacity for greatness. It begins with understanding who we are and what we stand for. We must align our actions with our values and set clear goals that push us toward becoming the best version of ourselves. Self-mastery is about transforming our weaknesses into strengths and turning obstacles into stepping stones. It teaches us to be patient with ourselves and others, to forgive and grow, and to remain focused on the bigger picture of our lives. Self-mastery is not a one-time achievement but a lifelong process that unfolds as we grow. It is a journey of personal development where every step we take brings us closer to becoming the person we are meant to be. Many people think of self-mastery as an end goal, something to achieve and then rest upon. But in reality, it is more of a path constantly evolving, changing, and challenging us. The key to understanding self-mastery as a journey is to recognize that it is not about perfection but about progress. We will make mistakes, face setbacks, and encounter challenges, but it is how we respond to these moments that determine our growth. This journey begins with a commitment to bettering oneself, regardless of where we currently stand. It requires an unwavering desire to learn, to grow, and to improve. Self-mastery starts when we take full responsibility for our lives and actions, acknowledging that we are the architects of our own destiny. It is about recognizing that the choices we make today shape the future we experience. Each action, no matter how small, contributes to the larger picture of who we are becoming. This understanding helps us approach life with a sense of purpose, knowing that every step is part of a greater plan. As we embark on this journey, it is important to set clear, achievable goals. These goals serve as markers along the way, guiding us toward our desired destination. However, it is essential to understand that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. In fact, it is the process of working toward these goals that builds our character and strengthens our resolve. Each challenge faced, each obstacle overcome, adds a layer of resilience to our being. The journey of self-mastery is not always smooth, and it is in the difficult moments that our true character is tested. Yet these are the very moments that offer the greatest opportunities for growth. Through this journey, we also learn the value of patience. Self-mastery is not achieved overnight. It takes time, consistent effort, and a willingness to embrace discomfort in order to reach new heights. There will be times when progress seems slow and doubt creeps in. But it is important to remember that the path of self-mastery is not linear. Some days will feel like progress, while others may feel like setbacks. Yet every day is a part of the journey, and every experience contributes to our evolution. The key is to remain focused on the long-term vision, trusting that each effort, no matter how small, is leading us closer to our true potential. Moreover, self-mastery as a journey is deeply personal. While we may share experiences and learn from others, no one else can walk this path for us. It requires a deep understanding of ourselves, our strengths, weaknesses, fears, and dreams. As we move forward, it becomes clear that self-mastery is not about being perfect, but about continuously striving to be the best version of ourselves. It is about embracing the process, learning from failures, and celebrating small victories along the way. Understanding self-mastery as a journey allows us to approach life with a sense of adventure and curiosity. We are not bound by our past mistakes or current limitations. Instead, we are empowered by the endless possibilities that lie ahead. Every step we take brings us closer to understanding our true potential and living a life of fulfillment and purpose. So let us embrace the journey of self-mastery with open hearts, knowing that each moment holds the power to transform us into the individuals we are meant to become. Aligning our actions with our values is one of the most powerful steps we can take on the path to self mastery. When our actions and values are in harmony, we experience a sense of fulfillment, purpose, and authenticity. On the other hand, when there is a disconnect between our actions and values, we feel conflicted, stressed, and unsatisfied. This alignment is the foundation of true success because it ensures that we are not only achieving our goals, but doing so in a way that reflects who we truly are. To begin, it is essential to first understand what our values are. Values are the core principles that guide our decisions, actions, and behavior. They are what we believe to be most important in life. Things like honesty, kindness, integrity, loyalty, and respect. These values are shaped by our upbringing, culture, experiences, and beliefs. However, many of us go through life without fully understanding what our values are. And even fewer people take the time to actively align their actions with those values. As a result, we often find ourselves living in a way that doesn't feel true to who we are, or worse, acting in ways that are in direct conflict with our core beliefs. The first step toward alignment is to reflect on what truly matters to us. What do we stand for? What kind of person do we want to be? What qualities do we value in others? And how do we want to live our lives? These are deep personal questions that require introspection and honesty. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of daily life, but it's crucial to take time for self-reflection. When we align our actions with our values, we ensure that we are consistently making decisions that support our true desires and aspirations. This not only brings peace of mind, but also enables us to act with confidence and clarity. Once we have a clear understanding of our values, the next step is to integrate them into our daily lives. This means making conscious decisions that reflect our values, even when it is difficult or inconvenient. For example, if we value honesty, we must commit to being truthful, even when it might cause discomfort. If we value kindness, we should make an effort to be compassionate, even in situations where it is easier to be indifferent. Each decision we make, no matter how small, is an opportunity to demonstrate our values in action. The more consistently we align our actions with our values, the stronger our sense of purpose becomes. At times, we will face situations where our values are tested. It might be a challenging moment at work, a difficult decision in a relationship, or a moral dilemma that forces us to choose between what is easy and what is right. In these moments, the strength of our values is revealed. When we act in alignment with our values, even when it is hard, we build trust in ourselves and others. We prove to ourselves that we can rise above temptation, distractions, and difficulties to do what is right. Over time, this builds inner strength, resilience, and integrity. Aligning our actions with our values also brings clarity and focus. When we are uncertain about what to do, our values act as a compass. They help us navigate through complex situations and decisions. For example, if we are faced with a choice that conflicts with our core value of honesty, we can ask ourselves, is this the kind of person I want to be? Or does this align with who I am at my core? When our values guide our actions, we are able to make decisions that feel right to us, which reduces stress and uncertainty. It's also important to recognize that living in alignment with our values does not mean we will always please everyone or avoid discomfort. There will be times when our actions may not be understood or appreciated by others. But the key is to remain steadfast in our commitment to living authentically. The opinions of others do not define us, and we should never compromise our values just to fit in or gain approval. When we live in alignment with our values, we attract the right people and experiences into our lives. People who respect us for who we truly are and who align with our own beliefs and principles. The process of aligning our actions with our values is ongoing. As we grow and evolve, our values may shift, or we may gain a deeper understanding of them. This doesn't mean we are inconsistent. Rather, it reflects the natural process of personal growth. We should be open to reassessing our values periodically, ensuring that they continue to reflect who we are and who we aspire to be. Self-mastery is a lifelong journey, and the alignment of actions and values is a continuous, evolving process. By making conscious, intentional choices that align with our core beliefs, we continue to move forward on the path of self-mastery, becoming the person we are meant to be. Choosing our reactions and decisions, regardless of the circumstances, is one of the most powerful aspects of self-mastery. Life is full of unpredictable events, challenges and situations that can test our patience, resilience and emotional control. While we cannot always control the events that happen around us, we do have the power to decide how we respond to them. This ability to choose our reactions and decisions is what defines our character and shapes our experiences. It is a skill that allows us to navigate life with intention, rather than being swept away by emotions, impulsive reactions, or external pressures. The first step in choosing our reactions is becoming self-aware. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in real time. When we are aware of our emotions, we can take a step back and reflect on them before reacting. For example, if we find ourselves feeling angry or frustrated in a particular situation, self-awareness allows us to pause and consider why we feel this way and how we want to respond. Without self-awareness, we are more likely to react impulsively, driven by our emotions rather than our values and intentions. Being mindful of our emotions and recognizing when we are triggered can help us gain control over our reactions and prevent us from making rash decisions. Once we have developed self-awareness, the next step is to choose how we want to respond. In every situation, we have the opportunity to pause and decide the best course of action. This may involve taking a deep breath, stepping away from the situation, or simply taking a moment to reflect on the most constructive response. For example, in a heated argument, instead of responding with anger or defensiveness, we can choose to listen calmly, express our thoughts respectfully, and find a solution together. In challenging situations at work, instead of succumbing to stress or frustration, we can choose to remain focused, think critically, and address the problem with a clear mind. Choosing our actions also requires a commitment to emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is the ability to manage and control our emotional responses to situations. It involves recognizing our emotional triggers, understanding the impact of our emotions on our decisions, and using techniques such as deep breathing, reframing, or positive self-talk to calm ourselves down. Emotional regulation is not about suppressing our emotions, but about understanding them and choosing how we express them in a way that is aligned with our values and goals. This is a skill that can be developed over time with practice and patience, and it is essential for maintaining control over our reactions in difficult situations. The ability to choose our decisions is equally important. Life is full of choices, big and small, and each decision we make has an impact on our lives and the lives of others. From the way we handle relationships to the career paths we take, our decisions shape our future. To make better decisions, we need to approach them with clarity, thoughtfulness, and a sense of responsibility. We must resist the urge to make snap decisions based on external pressures, fleeting emotions, or immediate gratification. Instead, we should take the time to reflect on the long-term consequences of our choices and consider how they align with our values and goals. One of the most important aspects of decision-making is learning to trust ourselves. Often we look to others for validation or guidance, but the truth is, we already have the answers within us. Self-trust allows us to make decisions with confidence, even when the outcome is uncertain. It gives us the courage to take risks, to step out of our comfort zones, and to make choices that align with our deepest desires. The more we practice trusting ourselves, the more we develop the confidence to make decisions that reflect our true selves, regardless of what others may think or say. In some situations, the decisions we make may not be perfect, and that is okay. Choosing our actions and decisions is not about always being right. It is about being deliberate in our actions and taking responsibility for the outcome. When we make mistakes or face setbacks, we have the opportunity to learn and grow. Choosing our actions allows us to approach challenges with resilience, to stay grounded in our values, and to use setbacks as stepping stones toward personal growth. The ability to choose our actions and decisions is a key component of self-mastery because it empowers us to live with intention and purpose. It puts us in the driver's seat of our lives, enabling us to shape our experiences, relationships, and outcomes. By developing self-awareness, emotional regulation, and self-trust, we can make better decisions, respond more thoughtfully to challenges, and navigate life with greater ease and confidence. The more we practice this skill, the more we become the masters of our own destiny. Controlling our thoughts and emotions is a foundational element of self-mastery. Our thoughts and emotions are powerful forces that influence every aspect of our lives, from our behavior to our decision-making. Yet many of us go through life without fully understanding or managing these internal forces. Often we let our emotions dictate our actions, or we allow negative thoughts to shape our beliefs and perceptions. The ability to control our thoughts and emotions is not about suppressing them or pretending they do not exist. Instead, it is about recognizing their impact, understanding their root causes, and choosing how to respond to them in a way that aligns with our values and goals. The first step in controlling our thoughts and emotions is becoming aware of them. Awareness is the key to gaining control because without recognizing our thoughts and emotions, we are unable to manage them. Many of us are driven by unconscious thoughts and emotional reactions, which can lead to impulsive behavior or decisions. By practicing mindfulness and paying attention to our thoughts and feelings in the present moment, we can begin to identify patterns and triggers that influence our reactions. Mindfulness helps us to observe our thoughts without judgment, allowing us to detach from them and view them more objectively. Once we are aware of our thoughts and emotions, the next step is to challenge them. Not all thoughts are accurate or helpful. Many of our thoughts are based on assumptions, fears, or past experiences that may no longer be relevant. For example, if we constantly tell ourselves that we are not good enough, we may begin to believe this thought and allow it to limit our potential. However, by questioning the validity of such thoughts, we can begin to replace them with more constructive and empowering beliefs. When we challenge our thoughts, we empower ourselves to change the narrative and align our mindset with our goal. In addition to challenging negative thoughts, we must also learn to regulate our emotions. Emotions are natural and essential to the human experience, but when they are left unchecked, they can lead to destructive behavior. Emotional regulation is the ability to manage and control our emotional responses to situations. It involves understanding the emotions we are feeling, acknowledging them, and choosing how to express them in a healthy and constructive way. For instance, if we feel angry or frustrated, Emotional regulation allows us to pause, breathe, and reflect on the most appropriate way to respond rather than acting out of anger. One of the most effective ways to regulate our emotions is by practicing self-soothing techniques. Self-soothing involves using strategies to calm ourselves when we are feeling overwhelmed. These strategies might include deep breathing, meditation, or positive self-talk. By incorporating these techniques into our daily routine, we can build emotional resilience and reduce the impact of stress and negative emotions on our lives. Self-soothing also helps us to return to a state of balance and clarity, which allows us to make decisions that are aligned with our true desires and goals. Another important aspect of controlling our thoughts and emotions is learning to detach from them. This means not allowing ourselves to be defined by our thoughts or emotional states. For example, if we experience feelings of fear or self-doubt, we must recognize that these emotions are temporary and do not define our worth or capability. By creating distance between ourselves and our emotions, we can view them with greater perspective and avoid letting them control our actions. This detachment allows us to stay grounded and focused, even in the face of adversity or emotional turbulence. A powerful tool for controlling our thoughts is visualization. Visualization is the process of imagining ourselves achieving our goals, experiencing success, or overcoming challenges. When we visualize positive outcomes, we create new neural pathways in our brain that align with the reality we want to manifest. Visualization helps us to stay focused on our goals and maintain a positive mindset, even when external circumstances may not be in our favor. By consistently visualizing success, we program our minds to believe in our ability to achieve what we set out to do. The ability to control our thoughts and emotions is also linked to the practice of gratitude. Gratitude is the act of recognizing and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives, even in the face of challenges. When we focus on what we are grateful for, we shift our attention away from negativity and create space for positive emotions to flourish. Practicing gratitude helps to counterbalance negative thoughts and emotions, promoting a sense of peace and contentment. It also fosters resilience, as we learn to find value and meaning in every experience, regardless of its difficulty. Controlling our thoughts and emotions is about taking ownership of our internal world. It is about understanding that we have the power to influence how we think, feel, and behave. By becoming aware of our thoughts and emotions, challenging negative beliefs, and regulating our emotional responses, we can create a life that is aligned with our values and aspirations. This level of self-control is not something that happens overnight. It takes consistent practice, self-compassion, and patience. However, as we develop the ability to control our thoughts and emotions, we become more empowered, focused, and capable of achieving our goals and mastering our own life. Overcoming adversity with wisdom and courage is a defining characteristic of self-mastery. Life is unpredictable, and no one is immune to facing difficulties, challenges, or obstacles. Adversity is a part of the human experience, and how we respond to it can significantly shape our journey. The ability to face hardship with wisdom and courage not only helps us endure difficult times, but also enables us to emerge from them stronger, more resilient, and wiser. Wisdom allows us to navigate adversity with clarity, while courage empowers us to confront challenges head on and make decisions that align with our values, regardless of fear or discomfort. The first step in overcoming adversity with wisdom is to cultivate a mindset that views challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. This shift in perspective is crucial because it allows us to approach adversity with a sense of purpose and learning rather than resentment or frustration. Every difficulty, no matter how daunting, carries a lesson. Whether it's a personal setback, a failure in our professional life, or a challenge in relationship, each experience holds the potential for learning, self-discovery, and growth. Wisdom lies in our ability to extract these lessons and use them to propel ourselves forward. To develop wisdom in the face of adversity, we must first be willing to reflect on our experiences. Reflection allows us to step back from the immediate emotional reactions we may feel and look at the bigger picture. Instead of allowing ourselves to be consumed by anger, frustration, or fear, we can take a moment to reflect on the situation. What caused the adversity? How did we respond? What can we learn from this experience that will help us in the future? By reflecting on our actions and reactions, we gain insight into ourselves and our ability to handle challenges, allowing us to approach future adversity with greater wisdom. Alongside wisdom, courage plays a vital role in overcoming adversity. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. When faced with difficult situations, it is natural to feel fear, doubt, and uncertainty. These emotions can paralyze us, preventing us from making the necessary decisions or taking the required action. However, courage allows us to acknowledge our fear and still move forward. It gives us the strength to take risks, to step into the unknown, and to face our challenges head on. Courage enables us to take decisive action, even when the outcome is uncertain, and it empowers us to stand by our values, regardless of the circumstances. Courage is not always about grand gestures or taking bold leaps. Sometimes it's about making small but significant decisions that align with our principles. It's about having the courage to speak up when we see injustice, to say no when we are overwhelmed, or to ask for help when we need it. Courage can also be about persevering when things seem impossible, showing up every day despite setbacks, and continuing to move forward even when the path is unclear. It's about trusting ourselves and our abilities, even when external circumstances may suggest otherwise. One of the most powerful aspects of overcoming adversity with wisdom and courage is the ability to remain calm and composed in the face of uncertainty. Many times when adversity strikes, we are faced with situations where the outcome is not immediately clear. In these moments, it can be easy to panic or make hasty decisions driven by fear or pressure. However, wisdom teaches us to pause, breathe, and assess the situation before reacting. By taking a step back and gaining perspective, we can make better decisions that align with our long-term goals and values. Courage in this context is the ability to remain steady and composed even when the external environment is chaotic or uncertain. Moreover, overcoming adversity with wisdom and courage requires resilience, the ability to bounce back after facing difficulties. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges, but about developing the strength to recover and adapt after experiencing them. It is the ability to keep moving forward, no matter how many times we fall. Resilience is built through experience, and the more adversity we face, the stronger we become. By developing resilience, we not only overcome challenges, but also build the confidence to face future obstacles with greater ease. In addition to resilience, overcoming adversity with wisdom and courage involves maintaining a positive mindset. Optimism does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. Instead, it means maintaining the belief that we can navigate through challenges and emerge stronger. A positive mindset helps us to stay focused on solutions rather than problems, and it enables us to remain hopeful even in the darkest of times. It is through this mindset that we cultivate the courage to continue, no matter the setbacks we encounter. Overcoming adversity with wisdom and courage is about embracing life's challenges with a sense of purpose, learning from them, and emerging stronger. It is about trusting in our ability to rise above difficulties, to remain grounded in our values, and to keep moving forward with determination and resilience. As we face life's obstacles, it is our wisdom and courage that will guide us through, helping us to turn adversity into a stepping stone on the path to self-mastery. Patience and focus are two of the most essential qualities in the pursuit of self-mastery. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to become distracted overwhelmed, or frustrated by the demands of life. People often seek quick results, and when success does not come immediately, they lose their focus and give up. However, achieving lasting success and personal growth requires a deep understanding of the value of patience and a strong commitment to staying focused on our long-term goals. These two qualities go hand in hand, as patience allows us to endure through challenges, while focus ensures that we stay on the right path. The importance of patience cannot be overstated. Patience is the ability to remain calm, composed, and persistent in the face of adversity. It is the ability to stay the course even when things do not go as planned or when success seems far away. In the journey towards self-mastery, there will inevitably be moments of difficulty, failure, and frustration. We will encounter setbacks, and at times it may feel like progress is slow or non-existent. It is during these moments that patience becomes our greatest ally. Without patience, we are likely to give up when the going gets tough. But with patience, we can maintain our composure, learn from our mistakes, and keep moving forward. Patience also allows us to appreciate the process of growth. In our desire for success, we often focus solely on the end goal, forgetting that it is the journey itself that shapes who we become. Every small step, every effort, and every moment of struggle contributes to our development. When we practice patience, we give ourselves the opportunity to experience and appreciate these moments of growth. We learn to enjoy the process rather than just rush to the outcome. This perspective helps us remain grounded and motivated even when progress seems slow. Focus, on the other hand, is the ability to direct our attention and energy toward a specific task or goal. Focus enables us to prioritize what matters most and avoid distractions that can derail us from our objectives. In the age of constant notifications, distractions, and competing demands, maintaining focus can be challenging. However, focus is a skill that can be developed and honed over time. The key to cultivating focus is to eliminate distractions and create an environment conducive to concentration. This means setting aside time each day to work on our goals without interruptions, whether it is studying, working on a personal project, or practicing a skill. One of the most effective ways to improve focus is through setting clear and specific goals. When we know exactly what we want to achieve, it becomes easier to stay focused on the steps needed to get there. Clear goals act as a roadmap, guiding us through the process and keeping us on track. It is important to break larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks, as this makes the journey less overwhelming and helps us maintain focus on one step at a time. Celebrating small milestones along the way can also help to reinforce our focus, providing us with the motivation to continue working toward our ultimate goal. Staying focused requires discipline, and discipline is built through consistent effort. It's easy to start strong, but sustaining focus over the long term is what leads to true success. This is where patience plays a crucial role. There will be times when the path feels monotonous or when distractions seem more appealing than staying on track. In these moments, patience allows us to endure the temporary discomfort of staying focused, knowing that the reward will be worth the effort. Patience helps us remain committed to our goals even when the results are not immediate. Both patience and focus are essential for overcoming the inevitable challenges and obstacles that arise in the pursuit of self-mastery. There will be times when things don't go as planned, when our efforts don't yield the results we expect, or when we encounter setbacks. In these moments, patience helps us to stay calm, manage our emotions, and keep moving forward. Focus, on the other hand, allows us to maintain clarity and avoid distractions, ensuring that we continue to take deliberate action toward our goal. The combination of patience and focus creates a powerful force for personal growth and success. Patience ensures that we don't give up in the face of adversity, while focus ensures that we stay on track and remain aligned with our goal. Together, they help us stay committed to the journey of self-mastery, knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, brings us closer to becoming the best version of ourselves. By cultivating patience and focus, we empower ourselves to navigate through life's challenges with resilience, determination, and a clear sense of purpose. Self discipline is the cornerstone of achieving personal growth and success. It is the ability to control one's impulses, emotions, and behaviors to stay focused on long term goals rather than yielding to immediate desires or distractions. Self discipline is what allows individuals to persevere through challenges, maintain consistency in their efforts, and ultimately achieve the results they desire. It is a skill that requires practice and dedication, but the rewards are immense. Without self discipline, it becomes easy to be swayed by external factors, to give in to procrastination, and to lose sight of our goals. However, with self discipline, we develop the mental strength to overcome obstacles and stay committed to our path, even when the going gets tough. The first step in building self discipline is setting clear and specific goals. A goal without clarity is like a ship without a rudder. It lacks direction and purpose. To practice self discipline effectively, we must know exactly what we are working towards. This means not only identifying our long term vision, but also breaking it down into smaller, actionable steps. Each small goal serves as a milestone, giving us a clear target to aim for. When we set clear goals, we are more likely to stay focused on what matters and avoid distractions that may lead us off course. Along with setting clear goals, it is important to create a structured plan to achieve them. Self-discipline thrives in an environment of organization and order. A structured plan provides us with a roadmap, helping us prioritize our tasks and allocate time effectively. Whether it's setting aside specific hours for work, dedicating time to exercise, or creating a daily routine, structure helps ensure that we remain focused on what needs to be done. Without a plan, we risk wasting time and energy on unproductive activities, which ultimately hampers our progress toward our goals. Another key component of self-discipline is the ability to delay gratification. In a world full of instant rewards and distractions, it is easy to fall into the trap of seeking immediate pleasure instead of working towards long-term success. Whether it's choosing to watch TV instead of studying, or eating unhealthy food instead of sticking to a fitness regimen, the temptation to give in to short-term desires can be overwhelming. However, self-discipline teaches us to resist these impulses and stay focused on our ultimate goals. By delaying gratification and prioritizing our long-term success, we make choices that align with our values and contribute to our personal growth. Building self-discipline also involves developing the ability to overcome procrastination. Procrastination is often a result of fear, self-doubt, or a lack of motivation. It can be paralyzing, causing us to delay important tasks and ultimately falling behind on our goals. To combat procrastination, it is essential to break down tasks into smaller, manageable steps. By focusing on completing one small task at a time, we reduce the overwhelm that can lead to procrastination. Additionally, holding ourselves accountable is crucial. Whether through tracking progress, setting deadlines, or enlisting the help of a mentor, accountability helps keep us on track and encourages us to follow through with our commitments. Self-discipline also requires consistency. It is not enough to make an effort one day and slack off the next. Building self-discipline means making consistent daily efforts to stay focused on our goals. This is where the power of habits comes into play. Habits are automatic behaviors that are formed through repeated action. By developing positive habits, we reduce the mental effort required to stay disciplined. For example, if we make it a habit to wake up early and work on our goals first thing in the morning, we eliminate the need to debate whether or not we should work on them. Over time, these habits become ingrained and self-discipline becomes second nature. It is also important to practice self-compassion in the process of building self-discipline. While self-discipline requires persistence and resilience, It is equally important to be kind to ourselves when we slip up. No one is perfect, and setbacks are inevitable. Rather than getting discouraged or being overly critical, we should view mistakes as learning opportunities. When we treat ourselves with compassion, we can bounce back more quickly and maintain our commitment to our goals. Self-discipline is not about perfection, it is about making consistent progress even when we encounter obstacles along the way. Finally, self-discipline is about building mental toughness. Mental toughness is the ability to persevere through difficult situations, stay focused under pressure, and maintain a positive attitude despite challenges. It is the foundation of self-discipline because it allows us to push through moments of discomfort and stay committed to our goals. Mental toughness can be developed by regularly stepping outside of our comfort zone, embracing challenges, and facing adversity with resilience. Over time, these experiences build our inner strength and empower us to continue pursuing our goals, no matter how difficult they may seem. Self-discipline is not an innate trait that some people are born with and others are not. It is a skill that can be developed through practice, commitment, and perseverance. By setting clear goals, creating structured plans, resisting immediate temptations, overcoming procrastination, staying consistent, practicing self-compassion, and building mental toughness, we can cultivate self-discipline and unlock our full potential. It is through self-discipline that we transform our aspirations into reality and become the best version of ourselves. Transforming weaknesses into strengths is a powerful and essential part of the journey towards self-mastery. Every individual has areas where they struggle, whether it's a lack of confidence, poor time management, or a tendency to procrastinate. These weaknesses are not permanent obstacles, but rather opportunities for growth and self-improvement. The key to mastering oneself lies in the ability to recognize these weaknesses and take proactive steps to transform them into areas of strength. This process requires a mindset shift, a commitment to self-discipline, and a deep understanding of our own potential. The first step in transforming weaknesses into strengths is to embrace them. Many of us are quick to hide or ignore our weaknesses because we fear judgment or failure. However, this approach only perpetuates the problem. By acknowledging our weaknesses, we give ourselves the opportunity to confront them head-on. This requires vulnerability and honesty with ourselves. We must ask ourselves tough questions. What are the areas where I am struggling? What do I avoid because it makes me uncomfortable? It is only through this honest reflection that we can begin the work of transformation. Once we have identified our weaknesses, the next step is to develop a plan for improvement. This plan should be specific, actionable, and realistic. For example, if we struggle with time management, we can start by creating a daily schedule that allocates specific time blocks for tasks. If self-doubt is an issue, we might set small, achievable goals to build confidence gradually. The important thing is to approach these weaknesses not as inherent flaws but as areas that require attention and consistent effort. Progress in overcoming weaknesses doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, persistence, and the willingness to fail and try again. The more we practice self-discipline in addressing our weaknesses, the stronger we become in those areas. One of the most powerful tools in transforming weaknesses is a growth mindset. People with a growth mindset believe that their abilities and intelligence can be developed over time through effort and perseverance. This contrasts with a fixed mindset where individuals believe that their qualities are inherent and unchangeable. When we adopt a growth mindset, we see challenges as opportunities for learning and growth rather than as threats. This mindset allows us to approach weaknesses with a sense of curiosity and resilience rather than fear or avoidance. For instance, if we struggle with communication skills, instead of seeing it as a permanent limitation, we can view it as an area that can be improved with practice. Over time, this shift in perspective enables us to overcome even our deepest weaknesses. Another crucial aspect of transforming weaknesses into strengths is self-compassion. Many people are too hard on themselves when they face challenges, especially when trying to overcome weaknesses. They may feel discouraged or frustrated when they don't see immediate results. However, being kind to ourselves during this process is essential. Self-compassion means treating ourselves with the same understanding and encouragement that we would offer a friend. Instead of criticizing ourselves for our shortcomings, we should acknowledge our efforts and recognize the progress we've made. It is important to remember that transformation is a journey, and setbacks are a natural part of that journey. The key is to stay committed to the process and to keep moving forward. Mentorship and support from others can also play a significant role in transforming weaknesses into strengths. No one has to walk the path of self-mastery alone. Seeking guidance from mentors, coaches, or peers who have overcome similar challenges can provide valuable insights and encouragement. Sometimes, an outside perspective can help us see solutions that we might have overlooked. Additionally, surrounding ourselves with supportive individuals who encourage our growth can make the journey feel less isolating and more empowering. The strength to overcome weaknesses often comes from a combination of internal effort and external support. It is important to understand that transforming weaknesses into strengths is a continuous process. Self-mastery is not about reaching perfection, it is about continuous improvement. As we grow and evolve, new weaknesses may arise, but the ability to address them effectively becomes easier with experience. By consistently working on ourselves, by being patient and persistent, we learn to transform weaknesses into sources of strength. Over time, these once challenging areas will become assets, helping us to develop into more capable, resilient, and well-rounded individuals. The process of turning weaknesses into strengths is not only about self-improvement, it is about embracing our full potential and becoming the best version of ourselves.